Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at a website or web application, and we're going to try to accomplish something useful with that website, and then look at it in terms of the user experience design and figure out the things we liked, the things we disliked, and the impact that might have on business. So the website that I chose to look at today is called skipleg.com. Skipleg.com is a little bit different from an average website where you're looking for flights, because not only does it look for direct flights, but it also looks for hidden city flights, which is when you fly to one airport and then take a flight from that or airport to your destination, or to another hidden city and then to your destination, etc. So what this allows you to do is find basically cheaper flights than taking a direct route. Now, this sounds good in theory, but then it might also be. It sounds a little bit like a lot of work if you're coming from a user who, they're not going to want to have to go through the process of booking flights with all these different providers or different flight agencies. So um, we'll just take a look and see how they've handled that business need on skipleg.com, and see if they've done a good job with the user experience. So we'll just make up I guess persona slash scenario to kind of go through here. So we'll pretend that I'm a father. I've got a family and a wife, and we're gonna go to Mexico, and I need a flight for 5 of us to leave on February 23rd and come back on March 1st. So first thing here is you can see they have this huge call to action right in the middle, which is perfect because this is what their website's all about. So we're gonna put in Toronto, Canada. Let's go to Mexico. One thing that's kind of nice for user experience is it actually shows you a list. I guess it queries the database asynchronously and returns a list here of all the different places in Mexico that you could go. So we'll go to Cancun, sure. So February 23rd, we want to leave then. We're going to come back March 1st. Let's see if, yeah, so that looks pretty good too. I like this date picker, it's pretty easy. So let's search flights. And then one thing to notice too is the date picker, it's not like when do you want to come back and giving you the option to put like a time or anything more complex, which is kind of nice for the user experience, because maybe you're not really worried about the time. But anyhow, and you can also see here that they have the option to do a round trip in one way, which is kind of cool. So we'll do a round trip. Let's search flight. So the page loads here, and so there's a lot going on in this page, but I think they've separated the user interface in such a way that it isn't overwhelming. It's like visually pleasing enough to, it doesn't feel too cluttered to me. It is cluttered, but um, they've done it in such a way that it's not like hard on the eyes or stressing me out. So first thing you notice is here on this left side we have a panel where we can change all the different options of our search. So that's kind of nice. And this list of like cities or airports, it actually changes as they go through the search algorithm and find more results, because they kind of do that. At first it's synchronous, but after a second it'll load the first set of results and continue asynchronously. Which is also good for the user experience because they don't want to sit here in a loading screen for 10 seconds and then decide to go to a different page. So let's just say we're okay with these options for now. So one thing that I really think is cool for user experience here is they show you a graph, and this goes into the future too, of kind of like the average price of a flight. Well, for like the round trip, or actually this is just departure, but yeah, basically this is like the average price day by day of the departure to go to Cancun. So say I had like a variable window that I could go on my trip. Well, it seems I actually picked a really good day just by chance, but you know, I would know that if I wanted to leave on February 18th, maybe it might not be such a great idea because the price is a lot higher on those days. One consideration is it doesn't really show. Oh, yes, it does actually. So I guess in the corner here it shows the price that each point of the graph is. So I think we picked a pretty good day. So let's take a look here. So now it shows you the flight. So from Toronto to Atlanta. This one goes from Toronto to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta to Cancun. It shows the total cost here on the side. And then, so this one is organized by price, as you can see. And then there's also the ability to do it by duration. So say you don't want to stay for too long in Atlanta or whatever, you want the quickest flight there. You can actually go by duration instead. Most of these obviously are going to be direct flights, but they're still pretty cheap. Like if you hit duration, it'll organize it first by duration, but then by price afterwards. So it'll still show you the best prices for the shortest duration, which is kind of cool too. But we're going to go by price. We want to save the most money possible here. Okay. I guess I want this flight. So this one goes, let's see, Delta Airlines. Pretty cool. I want this one here. It's $403. So I hit select. And then it brings me to this screen again. It kind of, it doesn't really, in my opinion, the user experience here could be slightly improved because there's really no indication that I did anything there other than this box here, but maybe there could be some sort of animation or something that could let me know that I actually, like, confirmed something or changed something or selected this flight. That's a minor consideration because they have this prompt text here. So this one says, please select your returning flight now, which should give me an indication that I've actually done something. Okay, so I'm going to pick returning flight here. Let's pick this one, it's the cheapest. So I like this. Now that I picked my returning and my departure flights, it'll give me a recap in a modal window here of my flight details. And if I'm all happy with everything, now I have the option to select, who's going on the flight, which is great. As we were saying earlier, is something we needed. So say 2 adults, 3 children. Book now. So like it's all like a really real smooth transition from each step of the process, I think. Here it sends you to some PHP script that I guess checks, like verifies the flights you've selected, and then this is nice as for the user experience too, letting them know what's going on right now because the script actually takes a second to run. So instead of just being in a blank window and a loading screen and thinking something broke, once again they've given me, oh, and that's cool. I've never seen that before, but we've got a notification here that the price has gone up by $49 for this ticket. So that might actually be a determining factor for me to go back and try and find a different one. But if I'm not, so you see here now, you just put in your traveler information, and seems like a pretty decent interface here. We'll just put somebody just. Put some information in here. We'll say I wanted to book it now without that information. What happens? Okay, so we do have some validation here, as you'd expect. But it gets you to put in all your information, gets you to put in your payment information. And the cool thing, I haven't done this yet, but I'm pretty sure the one thing that is great for this website, and I'm sure why they get a lot of business, is because the whole payment process actually goes through this website, and that is awesome. If you're going to be dealing with multiple airlines, say I booked a flight with Delta Airlines, and then I booked a flight with some other airline provider on the way back because it was cheaper. All of that's handled. This transaction is handled through the website, which, as for a user, that's awesome. You might be willing to pay a little more money. You know, the 1.7% fee, the service fee. Oh, it's 2.1 on this flight, but yeah, there's a small service fee uh, for the transaction. But as a user, you might be willing to pay that if you're going to save a couple hundred extra bucks by using the website. So yeah, I think overall the whole process was really good. One thing I could say is if I wanted to book like a hotel with it, the hotel and flight integration, they're kind of like two different services. So that's one thing that they could possibly improve. Another thing I noticed too was, say I decided, I mean, it's probably not that likely that you're going to go, hey, actually, I don't want to go to Mexico. I want to go to Brazil or something. But to actually change this, like I would think by hitting flights, if I hit that, maybe it would bring me back to just, being able to select a new flight. Instead, it keeps my query parameters up here, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. But it doesn't really seem like that obvious to me what to do if I want to go backwards. So what you actually do is you just have to click on, the to destination. You can put a different one in. That's not too bad. Maybe like a back button or something, or like a reset search type of thing button would be a small improvement to the user experience. But I think overall they've done a fantastic job on this website of making the user experience very like memorable, easy, effortless, and you're saving customers a lot of money, and it provides an experience that you'll talk about to tell people. I know I've personally told a few people about this website just because I thought it was such a great user experience and offered such an awesome service. So for a website like this, what a conversion means to them is they get to charge their service fee, which is about like $40 or something, but they're going to get a major return on investment if they have a good user experience and they're getting a lot of conversions here. They're going to be making a ton of money off that service fee. So for them, if they have major breaks in their user experience, that directly translates to a ton of lost revenue. So yeah, a website like this, it's very important to have an awesome user experience. To be honest, I can't think of anything other than just integrating the hotel service in with the flight service and making that more of a kind of connected process. That might be one way that they could improve their user experience and get a higher conversion rate. For example, if I wanted to get a hotel right now, it one thing that's kind of nice is it knows it's already looking in Cancun because that's where my flight was going. But say I want I'll pick this one. It's got a good skip leg, right? Say we want, one room. Wow, 56% off. That's friggin' awesome. So we're gonna select this room here. So as you see, the book now for this, the hotel is actually different from the flight one. Might be kind of a good experience if you could add the hotels to the flights. Like maybe when you get to that other screen where you book your flight, maybe there might be an option for them to actually select a hotel or something, or look at hotels to add to the flight. That might get it a higher conversion rate for them, for people using both services. But yeah, that could potentially improve the return on investment. That's pretty much my only major suggestion for improving the user experience on this website. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you around.